So to give a little bit of my background and why I care about this, I was a researcher myself. I did a PhD in chemistry, and I got very interested in the ways that research is not being transmitted and related to actually creating impact in society and value to society. And so I joined Cambridge University Press because they had a role open saying they created a role saying, well, we want someone to come in and help us with how we can do better with research data, how we can do better with all of these open research and transparency policies, and make sure that the value of research is better. So that's what I care about, and that's what I'm here for. And I hope that you guys are too. But what I've heard from Andrew about this journal and the editorial board and various other people involved is that that is very much what this journal cares about. So in that vein, there are a few specific initiatives we've been working on in Cambridge University Press that we could share with you, and I will share my screen. So one of the things that we offer is an initiative organized by the Open Science Foundation, the Center for Open Science, about open practice badges. And these are badges that we can put on a journal article to say, or to validate when an author or the authors of the article have made their data available, have made other materials available, and if they've pre-registered their study. We've got a little image of the badges here. This is something we can quite easily set up for a journal as part of the online peer review systems. We've got a list here of journals that are doing it. And then, so if you look at second language acquisition, this is one of the journals that adopted it quite early. They've got a little promotional thing on their homepage saying, add your open practice badge. And then if we look in the table of contents for their most recent issue, you can see here that it's here in the table of contents. These are journal articles that have acquired these badges. They've been validated for these badges. And so we promote this as a way to give authors a reward for best practices. And if you look at a particular article, it's also displayed within the article. You've got open data, you've got open materials on the web page, and these all link back to the explanations of how open badges work. And then even in the PhD version, we've got little logos at the top version of the page. And then as a footnote and explanation, in the data availability statement at the bottom here somewhere, we have an explanation of what the badges are and why. Yeah. So here we go. The experiment has earned these badges. So this is a way of rewarding authors for best practices, a little way of highlighting, and also at the journal level, you can look through and see where these badges appear and show that the journal, well, has a commitment to open research and open data and the integrity of research. So Registered Reports is another initiative. This really came out of the field of psychology, where psychology had an issue. Well, psychology researchers came to the point where they were like, there's a lot of publication bias. Only the really fancy results get published. Only the things that have very high impact factors get published. They were like, well, but there's a lot of questions that are not necessarily the immediate high impact things that we think are really valuable and need to be reported. So registered reports are a process where what happens is the researchers develop an idea and they submit a proposal for research essentially to a publisher or to a journal, and the journal says, yes, we think this question is important, or they can say no. The journal says, yes, this question is important, and if you go off and do the research as you've described it, then whatever your results are, we will publish your paper. We don't care if your results are negative, null, inconclusive. We think that it's important that someone goes off and studies this question. So this is a really important thing that contributes to the value of research, of open research, and you as a journal, of course, have the option and have the prerogative to say, well, we don't think this question is important. It's not saying we're going to publish every article about everything to do with our field. You do get the option to say, well, this question in particular is important. The point is it reduces the publication bias that focuses on positive results and things that are, massively impactful results. And it gives a way for people to, it gives support for people who want to investigate and want to research things that may not necessarily give massively impactful results, if that makes sense. And then the last thing I would like to specify is a particular thing that we engage with is this idea of annotation for transparent inquiry. And this is a way of supporting transparency in mixed methods research, which a lot of qualitative research and mixed methods research in general has been left out of a lot of discussions about how we support open research and transparency. Everyone just says, oh, data availability statements, put the data in a repository. But what we want to talk about is how this works for a field where research and methods can be mixed. It's not just data sets, it's qualitative research. And ATI is this thing that we've partnered with the qualitative data repository at Sucrose on. And it's to develop a way to annotate articles and to give extra context in the form of a set of annotations, which are then published as a data set themselves as a research output. And so we can see in an article here how we display it on the Cambridge website is that if you click on then anything that's highlighted, you can see the connections and the further annotations from the author. And if I scroll down, we can see like the analytic note and the data that the author then links to further information about what's gone on in this project. So that I think is really interesting in terms of how we can support transparency in a way that's not just put your data set on a website or a repository. It's a way of supporting the complexities of mixed methods research and making them available to other people. And so that's the three basic things I wanted to introduce.